Alright, chemistry students, today's video is going to focus on naming molecular compounds. You should have already completed the POGIL on molecular compounds, so you should have a basic understanding of it, and these notes are just going to solidify it a little more. So, if we go to our first page, the most important thing about a molecular compound is, remember, molecular and covalent are the same. So covalent compounds means it's a molecular compound. And we know that molecular or covalent compounds are made of two nonmetals. Okay, the one major thing you will need to memorize for this part of the unit is the prefixes that are involved in molecular compounds. So 1 means mono, 2 means di, 3 is tri, 4 is tetra, 5 is penta, hexa is 6, hepta is 7, 8 is octa, 9 is nona, and 10 is deca. So those are the major things you will need to know for this unit in order to succeed. Remember, prefix means it comes before a word, so we're going to be adding these things to our elements when we're naming them. So some instructions for how to name molecular compounds. So the first question to ask is it binary? Remember that a binary compound is made of two different elements and only two elements. We're not going to be naming things that have more than two elements. And like I just said, you need to ask yourself the question, is it covalent? So does this compound, is it made out of two nonmetals? When naming, you're going to list the first element first, and you're going to write the prefix that corresponds to the subscript, unless it's mono. So this will make more sense when we're writing one, but let's say we are using sulfur oxide as an example, okay, SO. So if we have SO and we're trying to name SO, you're just going to list the first compound first. So in SO, I don't know why my marker's not working. Sorry, something's happening. In SO, our first compound is sulfur, so we would just write sulfur, because notice it says unless it's mono. So we're not going to be giving the prefix for sulfur because there's only one sulfur, which is denoted right here because there's nothing here. We can imply that it's a 1. So the second element, we are going to write the prefix in front of it no matter what. So this would be sulfur monoxide. And I'm going to show you a little trick for this in a second, because monoxide doesn't sound quite right. I already did this step automatically because this is something we learned last class with the ionic, naming ionic, that the second element we're replacing the ending with "ide," which I accidentally just crossed over, so sorry about that. So that's why I wrote oxide instead of sulfur monoxygen. So sulfur monoxide. So this step here is important. If the prefix ends with an A or an O, and the element begins with A or an O, drop the final vowel. So we know that mono ends in an O. So we're going to drop that final vowel of O, so we get monoxide. So we'd have sulfur monoxide. Okay, and we're going to follow those steps every time we're naming covalent compounds. So let's do some more practice problems. Our first one is H2O2. So we're going to identify, is it binary? Yes, we have two different elements. Is it covalent? Yes, we have two nonmetals. So first, we're going to name the first element, hydrogen, and we're going to give it a prefix, because notice it's not mono this time. We have two hydrogens. What is the prefix for 2? It's di. So it would be dihydrogen. And then we're going to name our second element and add our "ide." So oxygen changes to oxide, and we need to again add our prefix, di, because there's two. So our answer here would be dihydrogen dioxide. Dihydrogen dioxide. Try out this one on your own real quick. Hopefully as your answer you got disulfur dichloride. Okay, disulfur dichloride. And the last one, nitrogen and oxygen. Go ahead and try that one. That one's going to be nitrogen monoxide, okay, because both of them only have one. So go ahead and try some of those out on your own in your homework, and make sure you turn into the supplemental video for some extra help on this as well. Thanks.